Hey guys, how's it going? I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I have something different for you guys. Hopefully, will be the first of many. And I had the privilege of interviewing another individual who has transverse myelitis. So, hope you guys enjoy it. You got any questions? You know what to do. Hit me up. And now here it is.
All right, all right. So, welcome, guys. I have a friend here, a new friend, who actually reached out to me on Instagram. I think we've been following each other for a while, just chatted, from time to time. And I explained to him my desire of wanting to talk to a lot more neural uh, individuals who have neural disorders, and my friend here is one of them. So he is our first guest, and I do not want to say the name wrong. So go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
Well, my name is Piero. My name is Piero, and well, I'm excited to be here. Just sharing my story, a bit of my story with all of you guys. So hope you enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. So what medical condition do you have? We'll start with that.
Well, I was diagnosed with transverse myelitis in July 2019, three years ago. 3 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago. Yeah,
July of 2019?
2019. Yeah.
Okay, I was diagnosed in January of 2019.
Oh, that's very close. Almost the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah, yeah.
So how did it come on you? Like how did it happen?
Well, it was in the middle of the night. To be honest, I just went to bed. I just said goodbye to my parents, and I was living at my parents' house by that time. Luckily, it's like I was living with them, and that day I was with them, and I just went to bed. Friday on a Friday night. It was a Friday night, 10, 10, 11, something like that.
Okay.
And 3 in the morning, I just woke up with a huge pain on my chest. It was my chest, then like my neck, my shoulder, my right shoulder, my arm, even my fingers, my fingertips. But the curious thing was that the pain that I was feeling on my chest was the same pain I was feeling on my fingertips. So it was
Okay.
very weird. And even some numbness, it's like, when you fell asleep on your arm, that
Yeah.
you can't feel it, some numbness and stuff. So it was like a weird feeling, it was very weird. And I already knew that there was something wrong. I don't know why, but I think one of the biggest lessons of this is that we have to learn, or we have to hear our bodies, what our
Yeah.
bodies are saying, because it's pretty real. It's like you have to follow your intuition, your heart. And I knew there was something wrong. Of course, I was talking to my parents. My mom she told me like, no, no, maybe you were very stressed or something like that. Just drink this tea, and maybe a massage could help and stuff.
Right, right.
And yeah, but I don't know. I was so confused. I was feeling that bad that I told my father, look, I have to go to the hospital. I have to go to the hospital now. It's like I have to go now.
Were you able to move your arm?
Look, yeah, yeah. By
Okay.
that time I could move. I could move perfectly.
Okay.
But I was feeling very tired and in pain. I was in pain, to be honest with you, and numbness.
What kind of pain? Do
And
you think you can kind of describe it?
yeah, it was, it's like a huge pain, like, I don't know, like a needle,
Okay.
like a needle in the middle of my chest, a huge needle pinching me in the middle of my chest. It was a huge pain. It was a huge
Okay.
pain. I thought at the beginning, I thought it was a heart
A
attack.
heart attack, yeah.
Oh, of course. But the curious thing was that it wasn't my left arm. It was my right arm.
Right. And with heart
So it
attacks is the
was,
left, yeah.
yeah, it was kind of weird. So I was very confused. I was very confused. But yeah, so I told my dad, let's go to hospital. when I went to the hospital, um, I remember I got an injection because of course doctors, very young doctors there, maybe they've never seen a case like that before, you
Yeah.
know. They were learning too because it's a very weird, very rare disease. And so they were, no, maybe it's a stress or something like that.
Also, yeah.
So they pinched me. I remember they pinched me on my butt, you know. It's like to put some medicine. I can't remember what was that, just to relax the muscles and
Okay.
stuff. And I thought, you know, by the time I said like, wow, those hands are marvelous because I didn't feel the pinch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then see, 6 months later, you know, after everything happened, 6 or 5 months later, I have no feeling on my. I can feel pain or the change of temperature
Okay, hold on.
from
5 months later.
yeah, from my chest down on my
So
on my
does that
left.
mean when you were from when they gave you that
No,
injection
I
in the
mean, no.
hospital?
Sorry. That I was then I was realizing, because at that moment I thought that this nurse, she got absolutely great hands because I didn't feel the pinch, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But then 6 months
You
later,
realize why?
I realized that I wasn't feeling, you know, by that time, I wasn't feeling, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling the pain and the pinch and nothing. But it was because I was being affected by that time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not my mobility, but yeah, my sensations, you know, the perception,
The
you
other
know, of
neurological the components of
es,
yeah
exactly,
of the pain receptors and everything else. Yes.
exactly. Then I
Okay. I was
realized
gonna say,
that
I was like, no way. You went to the hospital and 5 months later it happened, but okay. In 5 months later, you started
no.
processing
So,
why
yeah,
you were not
yeah,
feeling anything. Okay,
exactly.
that makes sense.
So yeah, they didn't know, but I was feeling very bad. In fact, when I left home, no, I went back home. I remember I went back home because they were, no, I think we think you have to sleep a bit and relax and rest. So I went back home. But at home I was very anxious. I got really anxious, and I told my father again, let's go to hospital again. Let's go to hospital again because I feel bad. I feel bad. Then the second time when I left home, my right hand was starting getting paralyzed. My
Okay.
right hand. Yeah,
Your
my
hand
right.
or your whole arm?
No, only my hand.
Okay.
Only my hands. Yeah. And when I was in hospital, I remember I was very anxious, you know, I was very anxious. So I wanted to go to the toilet. I remember I wanted to go to the toilet, and I started running. I was very nervous. I started running to the toilet, and when I was there, I couldn't even open my pants. You know,
Right.
it's like
The
my
numbness.
hands, yeah, they weren't working by the time. I couldn't even open my pants. So then I ran back again to bed, and I tried to lie on the bed, but I didn't have strength. I wasn't strong enough, and I just fell. And that was the last time I ran properly since now, you know,
Okay.
till now.
So
So now.
so you said it started with the hand. You went to the restroom. What? And you couldn't get your pants undone. Was both your
No,
hands?
I
Was it
couldn't.
still just only your right hand?
Both by that
Oh,
time
by
were
about
both.
time. Wow. Okay. So it was
Both.
coming in fast. Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
So how
But what
long would you
happened?
say that was? It was 3 o'clock when, roughly 3 o'clock when you woke up, and then
Three.
to the second time you showed up to the hospital. How long was that time frame?
First time 3 o'clock. Second time 5 o'clock. At
Okay.
5 o'clock, I couldn't move my hands properly. You know. And then I remember I got really nervous when I realized I couldn't open my pants, and I ran back to bed. I was. So I ran back and I tried to lie on the bed,
Hmm.
but I couldn't. I just fell on the bed, I just fell on the bed because I wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
By that time, I lost my kind of partially my mobility, the sensation, the perception, and the strength, and the balance.
Wow.
And yeah, and that was the last time I ran properly. I properly ran, till now,
Yeah.
till this day we are talking. That was the last time I remember I could
Okay.
run. I
So, and
could run.
then how long did it take them to give you a diagnosis? Was it, or, and then also, like for me, they gave me multiple diagnoses until they, finally figured out which one it was. But for you, how long did it take them?
Well, one day, 24 hours. They
Okay.
were very good. They were very good. Yeah, 24 hours. Because in this hospital I went, they didn't know what was happening.
Hmm.
To be honest, they didn't know what was happening. But I was there. They were looking it. They were looking. Um, what was happening? Which was my reaction, my body's reaction, if there was any reaction or something. They were looking, and then when they realized that nothing was happening, I was sent to the biggest hospital in my city, with the best neurologists and neurosurgeons, because it was very weird.
And
They
where is
were
your
like,
city? Let's let people know you're actually not in the
well,
United States.
look, by that time I was living in Venezuela. By that
Oh,
time I
okay.
was living in Venezuela. Yeah, I was living in Venezuela, and in Táchira. Táchira is the province. It's the
Okay.
state where I was living. Yeah, where I'm originally from that place, and yeah. So I was sent to the best clinic, with the best neurosurgeons and neurologists from my province, and they were amazing, great. They were great. So at the MRI, um, the imaginology test and all
Hmm.
kind of stuff, clinical tests. And I remember when the doctor saw me the first time, because he was imagining in his mind, because he knew well. Here's coming a patient like this. He's a really young guy, 27 years old. Did happen this and this and this and this. He couldn't move, and he was like, "Wow, that's very weird," because he's a very young guy. It's like, I mean, it's 27 years old, and it was suddenly I couldn't move. So he was like, the first thing he thought that was in a brain tumor, that it was a
Oh,
brain tumor. Yeah. Then multiple sclerosis, or
of course.
this Guillain-Barré.
Yes.
Guillain-Barré. So everything was ready, on ICU. They were all ready, because I supposed to be there, to go there,
Hmm.
uh, straight away. I was supposed to go there straight away, but then he started, the clinical examination, and he was doing all these tests, and he said, I remember when he said, "This looks a lot like myelitis. This for me, this is a myelitis."
Wow, that's
Not even
impressive.
not even with the MRI results on his hands. It's like it was only by the clinical
That's
examination.
awesome. That's impressive.
He said, "This looks like a myelitis. This looks like a myelitis." So then I was sent to the MRI room, the scans room. I was there. Of course, it was a very long study, like
Yeah, it's a
hour,
long one.
hour and a half, because it was the whole spinal cord
Yeah.
plus brain. So he was there. He was there, just there directing the whole operation. The whole thing, the whole scan, and yeah, and I remember, the only thing I remember was me there. I couldn't move. I felt so vulnerable.
Yeah.
I felt so, man, no strength at all. I mean, I was so confused. I was so confused
So,
because
okay, at that moment then, you're in the tube, you're getting your results done. Where did you lose your mobility? So far, what is not working? So I have your hands, your arms, your legs, back.
okay, no, look, yeah, my leg, yeah, I lost mobility, the mobility from the left side of my body.
Okay.
Okay, arm, hand, and my right leg.
Okay. So that means left muscles on your back, your glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves, everything.
Yeah,
Hip,
yeah,
hip mobility too.
yeah. No, I remember I couldn't move. I couldn't move the right side of my
So all of it.
my
Okay.
body.
Yeah.
But then I lost mobility on my right side, and I lost perception and sensation on the left side of my body.
Okay.
So
So it
it's
really
like a mix.
it took up a lot of your body.
Yeah. Because it was very high, it was
Yeah.
very high. The inflammation was located in C from it was if I remember well, if I'm not wrong, it was from C3, no, from C5 to C7
Which is
till
almost
till
the neck,
C,
isn't it?
yeah, till
Yeah.
C7. No, sorry, from C5 till T3 or T4, something
That's
like
a
that. It
lot.
was very long. Yeah, that it was a lot. It was a lot of compromise, a lot of compromise.
Yeah.
So doctors, very nice, excellent, but they weren't even sure that that I would be able to walk again,
Yeah.
because I remember that was the first thing I asked them. It's like, doctor, I just want, just be honest. I could I be able to walk again? It's like, and he told me, I'll be very honest with you. I think maybe, yeah, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. So, it's
Wow.
like, it's hard. It's
Okay.
hard to.
So you came out of the tube. Majority of your body's affected. What was the plan? Where did they send you next? What did they do next? Did they give you steroids?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I stayed in the hospital for more than a week, with asteroids. It wasn't that much time, to be honest with you, because I've been listening to other people's stories, and they were in hospitals
for
for
months.
60 days, 2 months, three
Yeah.
months. So he told me, look, for this type of cases, you should be here for a long time. But I think your condition is not that like that bad, because I can see you have the faith, the strength, and you have uh, you are okay, emotionally you are not that bad. So I prefer to send you home, and that you continue the treatment there, and start with rehab, rehabilitation from the
How soon
beginning.
did you go into rehabilitation? Like, did you go into physical therapy?
Yes, I started there. I started almost immediately.
Okay.
It's like, I remember I I went to the hospital on a Sunday. They started with the treatment at the same time. It's like 1 hour later, after the MRI, 1 hour later, I was connected with all the treatment, the
Yeah.
asteroids and all the stuff. I was connected there. Lots of asteroids, of course, all those medicines.
Hmm.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And then, like 2 or 3 days later, I started with some, let's say, some simple rehab. It's like the easiest one. It's like to start, because he say they were like, you should start now, because it's recent. This happened recently. So your cells, the 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 cells, they have memory,
Yeah, muscle memory.
muscle memory. Yeah. So they were like, we don't want to lose that muscle memory,
So, talking about muscle memory, then in your past before transverse myelitis, I'm assuming you played soccer then, or played any sports.
Well, I used to swim.
Okay.
I used to swim. I used to go to gym. I used to do a lot of things. But to be honest with you, I feel more active after my diagnosis.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
completely,
the
completely.
reason why I ask is because I've just talking to a lot of people who's reached out to me. I can more often or not, the ones who've recovered more have had some form of athletic background
Yeah. Well,
because their muscles are used to responding under duress, under pain, under pressure. So that's why I asked.
I've been swimming. I've been swimming my whole life, since I was a child. I used to go competitions and all that kind of stuff.
Oh wow, okay,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, so maybe I think that helped. I think that helped because I think recovery was really good, and it was quick. It wasn't that long.
How long were you
And
in rehab?
I did like 6 months of proper rehab. Like
Your
serious
rehab
rehab.
wasn't. Your rehab was you were at home and then you went somewhere. Did they come to you?
No, at home.
Oh,
Was
okay,
completely
okay,
at home. Was completely at home. My physiotherapist, she was going there. She was going home every day, and yeah, was at home. Was at home.
for 6 months.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
completely. Yeah, completely. I remember she told me, because I was on wheelchair when I left the hospital. I was on wheelchair, you know. And I remember she told me the first week. She told me like, I don't want to see you sit on that wheelchair. It's like, I prefer you to sit other places, use chairs or at the sofa, at the bed, on the bed or whatever. But I don't want your body to get used to the wheelchair. It's like,
Yeah,
and I think those things are important because mind is so powerful.
hundred
Mind is
percent.
so powerful, and mind is always commanding your body. And that was what she told me. She was always telling me that, the mind is going to dominate your body.
Mind
it's
over matter.
commanding your
Yeah,
it's commanding your body. So you don't have to get used to the wheelchair, because you
that's
will
awesome.
be able to walk again. You will walk again. You will walk again. You will walk
Sounds like a
again.
great PT.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember, and well, I was pretty young, 27 years old. I mean, I said no, I have to walk again. I mean, it's like, I'm so young. I'm so young. No, I have to. For me, being there, lying on a bed or on a wheelchair, that wasn't for me. It's like, in my mind, it was like, no, 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 I have to walk. I can. And look, I did it. And it was very quick. And even now I'm surprised. It's like how quick it was, because my body, the response of my body was very good, and was very quick. I have to be honest, I'm not 100%. Of course, I'm not 100% recovered, of course.
So what has
but
recovered?
but I think the recovery was very good. It's like,
Okay.
I can walk again, and I can move, let's say, properly. But there are some movements, of course, I can't do, or I'm not, for example, I'm not as fast as I was before to walk
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I'm pretty happy with my recovery, to be honest. I'm pretty happy. I can my right hand, I can move it properly, especially these two fingers, the thumb and this one. I can move them because the injury the injury was specifically the main injury was specifically on C5, I think it was, and that's the part of the spinal cord that commands these two fingers. So it requires a bit more of rehab and a bit more of time, you know.
Right,
But
right. Okay.
anyways, I feel happy. I'm happy, you know. I'm happy with my recovery, to be honest. I think it was very good. I feel grateful. I feel grateful with the doctors and with all the people who was with me, um, because I think everybody did a great job. You know, a great job.
So I want to
And
ask you this question because I get this question a lot.
Mhm.
How's your bowel and bladder? It's
Oof.
one of the top questions that people ask me. With transverse, with any neuromuscular conditioning, one of the very first questions they ask is bowel and bladder.
Look, at the beginning was really hard, you know. Man, I couldn't pee. I couldn't pee. I remember I was holding a catheter, you know, it's like on the urethra.
Mm-hmm.
I was always with the bag next to me, because I couldn't pee. I
For how
couldn't
long?
pee. It wasn't for the first week.
Okay.
I couldn't pee. I couldn't. Then the doctor told me like, look, we have to remove this to avoid infections and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, let's see how it works. You know, let's see how it works. So at the beginning, they started uh, they they block they block the wire. They used to block the wire to
Mm-hmm.
see if I could feel something, you know, if I could feel that I wanted to go to the toilet or something, I want to pee, and yeah, kind of works, but not. I mean, it's like the first week you don't feel that much, to be honest, because
Yeah.
you lose
So how
all of
about where are
that.
you at now when it comes to bladder? Or do you have a plan? Like for example, I'll give you an example. For me, my bladder is not recovered as well as I would want it to, but I have a plan in place. I know how often I go. I know how much water I drink. These are the information that I've learned to keep track of. Every time I stand up from sitting from too long, I have to go to the bathroom. Um, so that's where I'm at right now. Um, so where are you at if you're able to share?
Okay, yeah, well, my bladder, I think it's very nice
Okay.
now. It's I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I can feel I can feel if I have to go, if I have to pee, if I have to go to the toilet. I think it's completely fine. But for example, if I go out and I'm drinking too much or something like that, it's like I can't hold it like before. Of course, you know, it's like if I have to go to the toilet, I have to go to the toilet. I
Right
mean,
away.
it's like yeah, maybe 10-15 minutes or something like that. Okay, but if I really have to go, I have to go. You know, it's like there's no other way. Maybe before is you didn't care, you know, it's like yeah, I can hold it or I can
Hmm.
go
Okay.
later, but
So you're
right
pretty
now,
recovered.
yeah, no,
That's good
it's
to
very
hear.
good. It's very good, but uh, anyways, it's like I can't. It's not as strong as it was, you
Yeah,
know,
of course.
before. And yeah, it's the recovery has been very good, but yeah, you can realize that it's not as strong as it was. But you know, I learned I learned how to live with that, and it's something that, well, it doesn't affect me that
Okay.
much, I think. And it's nice. It's nice. It's not that bad.
All right. So then, for sake of time, um, what what is your life with transverse myelitis now? What you mentioned that you are more active now than you were before, so what you're not in Venezuela anymore. I know that because
Yes.
where we talked. So where has transverse myelitis taken you now? You went
Well,
from losing a lot, and you mentioned that you're happy with where you're at right now. What does that
yeah.
look like?
Look, when I was diagnosed that I lost mobility and I got paralyzed suddenly, I lost everything. I lost everything because I was in my final year of college. I'm a dentist, imagine, and transverse myelitis affected my right hand, and I'm r- right-handed. It's
Wow.
like and affected my right hands. So imagine for a guy in his final year of college, dentistry school, right-handed, being affected by an illness that specifically affected his right hand. I mean, it's like I feel and I think that I lost everything. It's like I lost everything. But thanks to transverse myelitis, I realized that I'm stronger than I thought, and I can make a lot. It's like I can make a lot. I demonstrate myself that I can. Imagine when nobody was completely sure that I would be able to walk again. I did it in
That's
a
awesome.
very quick time. So after that year, when I recovered, when I finished rehab and everything, pandemic arrived, COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it was like, now what I'm gonna do, because like I'm finishing well, I'm not gonna say finishing, because we are recovering every day, and I think maybe
Yeah.
for the rest of our lives. It's like, but it's like I'm finishing my, like, the hardest part of the recovery, the most difficult part and everything. And now this pandemic, what I'm gonna do, we have to stay home, what are we gonna do? It's like, so I started to be really active, and I started exercising every day, every day, a lot of cardio, a lot of. It's like I took rehab on my own hands. It's
Yeah.
like, now I'm gonna do what I want to do. Exercising, cardio, what I like to do. So I started exercising during the whole pandemic. Yeah, and then I discovered aerial circus. The fabrics, and then you climb the fabrics till
Mhm.
till till the ceiling, and then you can make some figures in the air. It's like a circus artist.
Mhm.
So I discovered that, and I thought that was really, really cool. And I said, okay, yeah, let's try it. Of course, I knew my body wasn't like the rest of the people, bodies. But I say, I'm gonna try it. It's like I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. Maybe it could be interesting. And I say, if I could, if I do that, it's like, if I can do that, if I can climb that fabric till the ceiling with my condition, and with my arm like that, and with my hand like that, it's like I can do whatever I want. And look, I did it.
That's awesome.
So aerial circus gave me the strength I needed, and the strength I needed, and like the to decide other things, because I say, okay, if life gave me a second chance, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it, because when I was on that bed at that hospital that I couldn't move, I thought a lot of things, and I said, why I didn't do this, why I didn't do that, why, and I was regretting, and I said, now I remember I was thinking, now I don't even know if I can move. I could move again, I would be able to move again. So look, all the time I lost them. And now that, well, my life gave me a second chance, because it's like that, it's like life gave me a second chance, and I took it. So I say, I want to travel all around the world, because that's my dream. I want to travel all around the world, and that's what I'm doing now. And I moved from my country. Now I'm living in Europe, and I feel very good. I've been traveling to different places. A month ago, I went to Albania, and I did some hiking, and it was really tough, to be honest. We never imagined it was that tough, but we hiked the Alps. We went from a town
Yeah, you were
to
telling me.
other
That's
in
awesome.
the middle, yeah, through the Alps. So 16 kilometers in the middle of the Alps, 7 8 hours. It was tough, but I feel proud. It's like I feel very good. I feel very good to do it. It's like I think for every person with a neurological condition like transverse myelitis, it's such. I mean, it's like it's something very big, and we have to be proud of these things.
Beautiful.
Because only we know how it feels and the struggle we have been through. So
Well,
so
brother,
yeah.
I'm proud of you. I am proud of you.
So
I
now,
I know there
yeah,
was more of us out there, and I'm so excited we got to do this. I'm so excited that you reached out to me. Thank you for, finding me on Instagram and we got to chatting. Thank you for sharing me like your story. And you're right. We are always still recovering. There's still a long ways to go. And from
yeah,
what I'm hearing is that what transverse myelitis gave you was the bravery to live the life
yeah,
that you were
so,
scared to live before.
yeah. Well, and now I'm living the life I've always wanted. Maybe if I didn't pass through this, through those hard times, maybe I wouldn't be here,
Who
or
knows,
I,
right?
I don't know. It's like this gave me the strength I needed, to move along, and that's important. And look, now, as I told you, I'm a completely different person. I have another perspective of things and of life. My mind is very open right now, thanks to transverse myelitis. It's like I'm a different person, and you know what? I don't want to be the person I was before
Yeah.
transverse my life again. It's like I think I don't need it. It's like I feel I don't need it, and I don't want to. I don't want to, because I grew up that much. It's like with this illness that, man, it's like I'm completely different, and every day I discover more and more things, especially if, the emotional part. It's like the emotional side. It's very important, and every day you discover more and more of yourself, what's in your mind, what's on your
Yeah.
mind. That's when you realize mind, it's really complex. And it's like every day I'm exploring myself. It's like, and I'm realizing that, oof, there are a lot of things that I still have to discover, and yeah, it's like that. So for me, it was it was a blast. It's like,
That's
of
awesome.
course, of course. Maybe 3 years ago, for me, it was another story. It was like, why me, or why I have this. It's like, because you are so confused. It's like you don't understand why one in a million, and it's you. We are few. We are not that much. So that's why I like to follow all the people with the same condition, because we are not that many people. That we are
Well,
not that
brother,
many.
I wish we
Yeah.
had more time. We definitely got to do this again.
Yeah.
I know there's still so much more story to tell. I can tell you have this passion of wanting to have people live a different life, but um, we'll do this again. We'll definitely get this scheduled,
Yeah.
probably with some more time as well. But thank you for making the time. Thank you for scheduling it with me and enduring the technical difficulties. But we'll definitely do this again.